I'll we'll talk after. I have a funny thing to tell you, but we are live, so let me just check Facebook to make sure that Facebook thinks we're live. And we are good. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I know some people will jump on and join us. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for our live broadcast. My name is Jamie Chavez. I'm the president and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and every week we bring to you a series of live broadcasts. Mondays are your backstage pass to City Hall with interviews from council members, mayor pro tem, and other city leaders as well. On Wednesdays, we talk to the newest members of the chamber, providing an introduction to them and their businesses and what they have to offer. And then on one Friday of each month, I have the pleasure of talking with Jefferson County Commissioner Rachel Zenzinger, giving her a chance to inform you on broader county issues. So if you're new to the broadcast, thank you for being here. We appreciate you joining us this morning. I encourage you to like and follow our Facebook page so that you will receive notifications for when we go live in the future. And if you are on if you are on YouTube, we don't have TikTok. If you are on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and then you can also explore previous broadcasts there as well. As you watch the broadcast this morning, we encourage you to engage with us, say hello, drop any questions or comments, and we will get to those during the interview. And I think that's it for all of my housekeeping items. So we will go ahead and get started with a very warm welcome for the first time to Jefferson County Commissioner Zenzinger.
Well,
How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. And since it's Valentine's Day, I think we'll start with just kind of talking about you and what you, an introduction to you and all the things that you love about Jefferson County. And we've got Dave joining us this morning. Good morning, Dave. Happy Valentine's Day. All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, this is my first time being on this. I don't know. Do you call this a podcast?
I usually say broadcast.
Broadcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll cross that off my resume. I was going to say this is the first time that I've been a podcaster. So
you can call it a podcast. I think that's fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I do not have a lot of podcast experience because I have been in government for the last couple of years. I am a teacher by profession. I grew up in the western part of Colorado in the Delta Montrose area, and then I came over to the Front Range to attend Regis University, and I received my teaching degree there. After I graduated from Regis, I went to graduate school out east at Boston College, and then I returned back to Colorado. I love Colorado. Born and raised here, so I wanted to come back, and worked briefly in higher education, and then I transitioned into the K-12 system. Worked for a little while, in particular in the classroom, working with children who were expelled from school. So those students that had some challenges in the education system. I have two children. They are college age. One goes to CSU and the other one goes to UNC. So they are both in state, which is great for mom. Yeah. They are an hour away, which is not too far, but enough for them to be able to spread their wings.
Yeah.
And when I was early in my career, when I had my children, I ended up staying home with them for a few years. And during that time, really got involved in local government. So I worked with a number of local government officials, serving on a variety of boards and commissions. In particular, I was on the Arvada Arts Council for the Arvada Center for the Arts and Humanities. I was on the Citizens Transportation Committee. I was on the Gold Line Advisory Committee. I was on the Citizens Capital Improvement Project Committee, a number of different angles involving city government. And over time, learned that my city councilor was term limited. His name was Don Allard. And so I decided to run for city council. I felt like I had a good grounding in what the city did. And so I ran for council and I was elected. So I served for a term on the Arvada City Council. I got to be the mayor pro tem, which was a lot of fun. And through that experience, really got to be involved in a lot. One of the opportunities of being on city council is that you're appointed to a number of boards and commissions. So I got to be on DRCOG, which is the Denver Regional Council of Governments, more transportation, lots of transportation related committees, urban drainage and flood control, really sexy topics.
Yes, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. I was reelected to a second term. And then shortly after I was reelected, there was a vacancy in the state Senate. And so I decided to run for that vacancy, and I was very fortunate to receive it. So I served for a year down at the state legislature. I served on the local government committee and on the education committee, and very much enjoyed that year of service. At the end of that year, I had to run for election because it was a vacancy appointment, and I lost my first race. So I was gone from the state legislature for about 2 years, well, exactly 2 years. And during that time, I jumped back into higher education and teaching teachers. So education about education.
Yeah.
And then ran for the seat in 2016 and was elected. So I've served down at the state legislature for 8 years, 2 terms, and was termed out in 2024 last year. During my time at the legislature, I served on the Joint Budget Committee, which is the state's budget committee that puts together the state's budget, just a little over $41 billion, and really enjoyed my time on the budget committee. Also served as the chair of the Appropriations Committee, the chair of the Education Committee. I served on Transportation and Energy Committee, and focused a lot of my bills on making sure that we are fiscally stewarding our dollars correctly in the state. I did a lot of work with the business community. You can see my little Chamber of Commerce shield there and my sword, my machete.
I don't have a machete.
Working, I'm very well protected in my office. I have lots of weapons.
Yeah, I need to get one.
Talk about that down at the Capitol. My poor little aide, his desk used to sit underneath my iron skillet, which I have here on the back of my see my little iron skillet there. From the Restaurant Association.
Yeah.
He had an iron skillet that could potentially have fallen on his head.
Oh my gosh.
So I used to talk about that a lot. We also
that would be very painful.
Yeah, we had a machete and a shield. We were very well protected. I have a baseball bat. But these were all signs of appreciation from the business community for working with them, working with our economic development associations in the state. I did a lot of work in the child welfare space and a lot of work in education.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, because you did a lot.
Yeah.
How much do you think your background in education really helped in your time in the legislature?
I think it was amazing. A lot of people ask me, why did you run for the legislature? And I was serving in local government, so obviously I was interested in the legislative process and in being a public servant. But what drew me to the legislature specifically was education. I was working in higher ed, teaching teachers. I was aware of the funding issues that we had in education. I'm a learner, really enjoyed learning, which I think made me an ideal person to be on the Joint Budget Committee. There was a lot of information that was thrown at us every day on the Budget Committee. I had to constantly be learning down at the Capitol in order to pass good policies, in order to pick apart complex bills, understanding multiple perspectives, understanding that it's not just black and white. That skill is really something that I developed as a teacher, and I was able to transfer that to my position in government.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And now here you are.
Yes. So I was termed out in 2024. And I became aware that the District 1 seat for the Jefferson County Commission might become available. Our former Commissioner, Tracy Kraft-Tharp, whom we just celebrated last night for her retirement, was thinking about stepping down. And really, for me, the timing couldn't have been better. I was termed out of the state. I had the local government experience from serving in the council. I had the state experience on the Joint Budget Committee. We are tasked with funding county governments in order to enact things like child welfare and public health and transportation and a number of things. So I kind of had that full perspective that I thought I could really bring to my position as a county commissioner.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you. And I'm glad that we can take this first broadcast as just kind of a chance to get to know you.
Yes, definitely.
Like I said, we'll have you on every month. And we used to do these the last Friday of every month. And I think it'll be a little bit more fluid as we kind of move forward. And that's okay. We can figure that out.
We're going to try.
on a schedule eventually. So we're just excited to have you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Yeah.
So let's talk about Jefferson County. Let's get into the Valentine's Day theme here. If you had to describe Jefferson County in 3 words, what would they be?
Dynamic.
Okay.
Beautiful. And I froze there. So I don't know if you froze, but I froze.
You definitely froze. Yeah. I got dynamic and beautiful. And what was the third one?
So hopefully I froze, with a smile, but it's always the worst when you're like, so beautiful, dynamic, and what would be my third adjective for Jefferson County? I'm trying to think about words that describe the energy that we have in Jefferson County, which is why I chose dynamic, because I think we have so much going on that makes us interesting and dynamic. I chose beautiful because we have such an amazing landscape in Jefferson County. We have beautiful mountains. We have amazing peaks and valleys. We've got this wonderful urban core. Jefferson County it's just beautiful. We have great landscape. And so I guess the third word that I'm looking for would be a way to describe the people. And I guess diverse would be my best adjective right now that I can think of off the top of my head. And that's just because we have so many interesting people from different walks of life. And that really is, I believe, our strength in Jefferson County.
Yeah, I agree with all 3 of those. Yeah, definitely. It certainly is beautiful here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your favorite place to get a cup of coffee in Jefferson County?
Okay, so this one's going to be hard, and I hope all of my little small coffee shops do not get mad at me.
You can name as many as you want. You can
choosing a favorite. Yeah. So I would say I probably have 2. And the first one is very near my house. It's Sweet Bloom. There are 2 areas, and my Senate district, my former Senate district, was Arvada and Westminster. And when we are not in session, and I was working from home, during the interim, it was difficult meeting with people. So we don't have, home offices or anything like that. So, and it would be very inconvenient to go down to the Capitol to meet. So I tried to pick coffee spots in the district. And so Sweet Bloom has one that's in Westminster, and it also has one in Arvada. So that's what kind of turned me onto that. And they just have an amazing vibe and great little goodies. Yeah. So I would say that one was my favorite. And then I started when I really like to highlight areas like Old Town Arvada And so La Dolce Vita in Old Town, they're a great local shop. And they're always very accommodating to people, who want to sit there and work for a little while, and just lovely people. So really
Awesome.
enjoyed La Dolce Vita.
Awesome. And then what about your favorite place to eat?
Oh my gosh. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm just going to say my favorite brewery.
Okay. That's a good one too.
So my favorite brewery, which also happens to be a great place to eat, is Kokopelli. One of my kiddos, Soren, who's not old enough to drink, by the way, so doesn't go there for the beer, but loves their pizza, demanded that we go there for their graduation party. Just for the pizza.
Yeah, well, it's a great place for a party. Yeah.
It really is. So I had my 40th birthday party there. We've had graduation parties there. And during the pandemic, my best friend who lives up in Boulder, we made it a habit to meet at Kokopelli in our coats, in our parkas, and our hats, out in the parking lot, surrounded by snow and our cold, frosty mugs of beer, because we wanted to make sure that they were able to stay in business during the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. I also love Kokopelli. It's a great place to meet. It's a great place to eat. When I was moving to Westminster, and I was looking at houses in the area and trying to get a lay of the land, I went to Kokopelli for lunch and had a beer and a salad, I think. And I was like, this place is really cool. And so I'm not going to say I moved to Westminster because of Kokopelli, but
Yeah. But we know
but it was my first restaurant.
Well, I can tell you what I think my husband's favorite place is. He loves Italian, so we like to go to Carrabba's because it's very close to our house. Great food, good company, and we like to meet friends there. So.
Yeah, it's also a great place to go. Yeah, Parker's on the broadcast, so I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Well, what about any hidden gems in the county that you think maybe people should know about? Favorite parks or trails or things like that?
So I'm just now kind of getting my arms around Jefferson County as a whole. And one thing to note, as I've been doing a series of orientations with different departments and divisions within those departments in the county, we have a lot of great municipalities that sit within the county. And then for those areas that are unincorporated, they fall almost entirely under county government. They might have a town council or something along those lines, but they don't have a city council. And so I've lived most of my time over here on the Front Range in the city of Arvada. So I'm very familiar with Arvada. I'm very familiar with Westminster because of my Senate district. I'm less familiar with the unincorporated parts of the county. So I do enjoy hiking. And so I would have to say that when you kind of get up into the Evergreen area, the Two Sisters area is one of my favorite hiking trails. And I very much enjoy kind of these foothill areas.
Yeah, definitely. And then what about like festivals or events that are held in Jefferson County? Do you have any favorites there?
Oh my goodness. Again, I haven't had the opportunity quite yet to get involved in any of those. So I don't have a favorite yet. I am waiting to be dazzled.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many too. So you're going to be busy trying to get around to all of those.
Well, and we do have great communities though in the county. So I've really enjoyed getting down south into the Littleton area. They have a great red, white, and blue festival during the summers, sort of around the July 4th time. I know the Arvada Festivals Commission, they do a lot of great events. I'm starting to get to know the folks at the Edgewater area a little bit more. And very, very excited about heading up into the Conifer area. I'm going to be attending the Conifer Chamber of Commerce meeting not too far or not too long from now. So really excited about that. There is a little Mexican restaurant that is next to the Stop for Gas, just right outside of the Conifer area, called Mexico Lindo. And it is incredible. It has the best bean dip I think I've ever had.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to try that. I have not
You will.
been there.
Next to Stop for Gas.
So, but yeah, I'll have to put that on my list of things to check out. So thanks for the recommendation. Okay, so what excites you most about the future of Jefferson County?
So I am really excited about a process that started before I got here called Together Jeffco, where we are going about updating our land use regulations, our land use codes, updating our transportation plan, updating our affordable housing plans, updating our fire protection plans. And we're doing this whole update so that we can really bring Jefferson County into the modern era, reflect the mission, vision, and values of the county, and really respect where our residents are and the things that they appreciate and value about Jeffco. So it's a long process, going through all of that. They've already started and successfully completed 2 parts of the plan, our safety preparedness plan, which is great that we have that updated and ready to go so that we can protect our residents. And then our fire prevention and mitigation planning, they just rounded that up, which is another very important thing for our county. And so now we're in the process of that land use regulations. And I know this sounds very wonky and probably not as cool as, what people would imagine that I would say, but I think this is great because it really gets to the heart of what the purpose of government is, is to take a look at how do we help Jefferson County thrive. So really excited about that. I'm also really looking forward to getting to know more about our planning around our open space and parks. That's probably something that I probably know the least about. So I'm excited to really wrap my arms around that. And so I guess that those are some things that are in the works, that are coming. And I think it's just going to be really helpful to have those things meted out. I love a good transportation plan.
Did you freeze? Oh no, you're here. Okay, sorry. I was trying to get a screenshot so I can post this later, but for a minute I thought you froze, but we're good. Awesome. All right. Well, kind of going along with that, how do you hope to make a lasting impact in Jeffco during your time as commissioner?
When I was campaigning and even when I was in the legislature, something that I heard repeatedly quite a bit was about affordable housing. And just the number of people that grew up in Jeffco, young people that wanted to return to Jeffco and couldn't afford it, and because they couldn't find housing. My stepson, he lives in Europe. He visited over the holidays, and he and his wife wanted to move back to Colorado, and they couldn't find a place. So they made the decision to move to the Netherlands. And it was like, I really wish you could have moved here, So I want to really focus on ways that we can make housing more affordable in our community. And so that all of those parents out there that have their children living in their basement can get some reprieve.
Yeah. I take it you know a little bit about that. Yeah. Awesome. Well, is there anything else on this day of Valentine's Day and your first broadcast that you would like to, any other message that you'd like to get out to the residents of the area about the community?
Yeah. So I've had a lot of people ask me, what do you think so far? You're a month into your job. What do you think? Do you like it? And I would say, no, I don't like it. I love it. I really do. So on this Valentine's Day, I love my job. I love interacting with the residents. I love the opportunity to do some good for our county. I love the fast pace of this position. I truly love working with my colleagues on the board of county commissioners. They are great. Commissioner Odell Kemper and Commissioner Kerr. We have a good team. And I love that I get to do this for the next 4 years.
Awesome. Well, where can people stay updated on your work as commissioner?
So a couple of different things. I do have a newsletter that I send out. So if you'd like to be added to my newsletter, you can shoot me an email at rachelforcolorado@gmail.com, and I'll get you added. If you need to get in touch, I also have all of my contact information on my website, which is rachelforcolorado.com. So please feel free to visit my website and contact me however it is best for you. And I really look forward to hearing from people about the things that you would like me to work on, any issues that you might have, and share with me the things that you love about Jefferson County.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Well, thanks. And thanks for everybody that joined. We had quite a few people on today. I didn't say hi to everybody individually because we were kind of going through it, but thank you all for being here, and look forward to catching up again sometime in March, which I can't even believe I'm saying that already.
Oh.
Yeah, so thanks so much, and happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yay.
Bye, everyone.